with a GDP per capita of $11,000, which is comparable to the new members of the European Union. Unemployment rate in Kazakhstan is 5.6%. Inflation rate, for example, in September, 5.2%. And GDP growth in the first 9 months of 2010, we have 7.5%. But GDP growth in 2009, we had only 1.2%. The investment climate of my country provides it with one of the best conditions for conducting business. In 2003, the investment law was adopted, which fully regulates the legal and economic framework stimulating the investments into the country. The law guarantees the full protection of the investors' rights and the stability of contracts, and guarantees a very structured interaction of the state bodies with investors. Probably only in Kazakhstan we have such council of foreign investors headed by president. So, for example, Chevron or Texaco or other well-known, great, huge concerns could discuss with the president, government, and could discuss each problem in their life in Kazakhstan. I would like to take this opportunity to inform you that in January 2010, Kazakhstan and Austria signed an agreement for promotion and protection of investment, which creates a positive investment climate for the private sectors of our countries. Austria invested to Kazakhstan around $3 billion. Kazakhstan also investing to Austria very well. The taxation code. We have new code since 1st of January 2009, facilitates the use of investment tax preference by investors. The main idea behind the investment tax preferences is the dedication of the value of the objects of preference and of the subsequent reconstruction and the modernization costs. Under the new code, the rates of corporate income tax have been decreasing from 30% in 2008 to 15% in 2011. The rate of VAT has decreased to 12% from 20%. Starting on January 1st of 2010, we have custom unions between 3 Eurasian countries, Belarus, Russia, and Kazakhstan. What does it mean? Experts estimate the total effect from the creation of the custom unions to be more than $400 billion. We have initiated this custom unions thinking that our whole population is about 180 million people. The total GDP of the 3 countries exceeds $2 trillion. And the growth for 2015 is projected to be within 15–18%. What else? When we're talking about the economy of Kazakhstan, one has to bring up the Samruk-Kazyna National Welfare Fund. Around 40% in 2010 of Kazakhstan GDP is produced by Samruk-Kazana Fund. This fund, which is established in October 2008, integrates national companies in main industries such as oil and gas, transportation, energy, telecommunication, nuclear power, and the petrochemicals, as well as national financial development institutions and the commercial banks. In this regard, Samruk-Kazana role is to define the strategy for state-owned assets and to be the main instrument for implementing governmental policy. You can see here our main national companies. Of course, saying about Kazakhstan, we have to tell also the oil and gas potential of my country. Kazakhstan is among the 15 countries in the world with the largest hydrocarbon reserves. It's about 3–4% of the oil reserves, of the world reserves. We have also around 8 trillion cubic meters of the gas. Meanwhile, I want to tell you that in 2006 we have produced only 76 million tons, and we are going to double this digits in 2015. By the end of the 2010, to increase our oil production to 85 million tons. Very interesting fact that 30% of the oil used by Austria is imported from Kazakhstan. That means every other third liter of gasoline consumed by Austrian cars. Today, we are in the process of shifting its priorities to creating high value-added products in this sector. Kazakhstan, of course, has very unique geographical location. That's heart of the Eurasian. 4% of our territory is in the European continent. That means 155,000 kilometers. So, of course, we have very interesting fields of economy that's like power, energy, transportation, telecommunications. I want to tell you that's very interesting momentum that we have. We are second largest reserves of uranium, exporting 40% of. We are supplier of 40% of uranium to Japan, for example. We're #1 producer of uranium in the world now. In conclusion, I would like to note that, of course, world markets for raw materials are crucial for Kazakhstan's economy. But at the same time, the whole philosophy of the Kazakhstan policy can be summed up in the following way: to invest revenues from commodity export into industrial and innovative technologies, know-how, import, substituting productions. We don't want to sell natural resources in order to generate wealth. From our point of view, and from the perspective of development, becoming rich from north is not art form. Our goal is to make Kazakhstan a proposed and rapidly developing nation, and to exclude from our citizens' mentality the idea that we will be better off simply by exporting raw materials. Therefore, following the Norwegian's example, in 2001, Kazakhstan established a fund for the welfare of future generations, where we transfer all revenues from the export of raw materials Thus, today this reserve make up $60 billion. With regards to the economic cooperation with Austria, I would like just note that according to Kazakh statistics in 2009, volume trade was $1.5 billion. At the end of 8 months in 2010, we have already reached the level of $1.9 billion. At the end of my speech, I would like to mention also that today, this year, we're chairing the OSCE, very important organization, headquarters of this organization located in Vienna. Last 11 years, we will have summit of the OSCE in Astana. Next year, we are chairing in the Organization of Islamic Conference and the Shanghai Cooperation Organizations. So we have no problem. We haven't any problem with our neighbors. We have excellent relationship with Russia, China, U.S. Our main trade partner is the European Union. We'd like to intensify this cooperation with Germany, France, of course with Austria. We expect His Excellency President Fischer to Kazakhstan in December. It's the first historical official visit of the Austrian president. So if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer. Thank you so much.
Minister Chancellor Abibulayev, thank you very much for your interesting insight in Kazakhstan and the relationships we could have and should have with you. If there are any pressing questions to the panel, please now. Otherwise, I would suggest we have a coffee break now, and we will have the coffee break until 11:45, so half an hour, so that everybody gets a coffee. We have time for discussion maybe outside in a casual way, and then we follow up with the Energy Forum at 11:45 in this room. Thank you very much. No, excuse me, here's a question. One question.
Okay. Ich werde auf Deutsch reden. Ich finde diese Vorstellung sehr, sehr schön. Aber mir fehlt etwas, wenn ich sehe hier, das sind die jungen Menschen und es wird sehr viel von Investitionen gesprochen. Aber was mir fehlt, das ist die Investition in die jungen Menschen. Und deswegen meine Frage ist, von den Ländern, die hier vorgestellt wurden, wie viele Prozent der Bevölkerung von den jungen Menschen in diese Länder gibt? Kannst du das übersetzen, dass jeder auf Englisch das antworten kann?
Du meinst, wie viel Prozent
ja,
junge Menschen
in diesen
Ländern?
Ja.
Okay. The question was, what's the percentage of young people, young educated people in your country? In Bahrain, Mongolia and Congo. Can you give a rough number about this?
Actually difficult to micro is not working, but
It's working.
I believe you can.
Now you can take it.
Thank you. That's a good question. I don't have the exact figure, of course, but I can always get it for you if you like. But the number of the percentage roughly is most of the population are at the age between, I would say, 25 to 45, and because of the education in Bahrain, most people are highly educated, working, which means that the new generation would, of course, have a great impact in the future of the Kingdom of Bahrain.